Hello and welcome to Gutted. I'm Aleece.
And I'm Tony, and we're here to spill our guts about horror movie trailers.
Today we'll be reviewing the trailer for Speak No Evil, set to be released September 13th of 2024. This film is directed by James Watkins and written by James Watkins as well as Christian Tafdrup and Mads Tafdrup.
Let's preview that trailer.
Oh no.
Thank God there's a doctor in the house.
I'm not a doctor.
What?
But didn't you say you were a doctor?
Did I?
You...
Look at their faces. Of course I'm a bloody doctor.
Agnes, why don't you and Aunt show us the dance that you've been working on?
I've been married a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go?
And what is wrong with you? Just feel the rhythm in your feet. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is the one.
What is wrong with you? I want to pack up the car and I want to leave right now.
I'm just sad to see you go.
You're gonna go out there and be completely normal.
I've been pretending it's normal since we got here. Dad?
Remember that time you guys came to stay? You flipped out and tried to leave without saying goodbye?
All right.
And the music and the soul.
That was an exciting part of the trailer. I like that song.
I am all for...
Cotton Eye Joe?
Yeah, I am going to go see this movie just for Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah, we're big fans. Waiting for that song to tour. Don't know the musician. Sorry. That was Speak No Evil. Quick disclaimer. We are going to do our best not to reveal major spoilers because this is a remake of a 2022 version that has the same name, Speak No Evil. And that version is directed by Christian Tafdrup and written by Christian Tafdrup and Mads Tafdrup. So they are both credited as writers for this one, and I think that's why. However, James Watkins, the director of this one coming out this year, is also credited as a writer. So I'm thinking perhaps it won't be like a shot-for-shot remake.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Let's hope not. But that being said, we're going to do our best not to reveal the ending or any other major spoilers of the 2022 version. We're just going to go based off of what we've seen in this trailer of what we think is going to happen in this version.
Yeah, and there's a lot to talk about in this trailer. We have seen this trailer for months now in the theaters.
We've seen a couple versions. I think this was the first version that we saw.
Right.
And my first takeaway after seeing this version was that, like, wow, James McAvoy's lady in the movie doesn't say very much at all. And I noticed in the second trailer that came out in the theaters, she says quite a bit more. So I'm wondering if people were like, what the heck? Does she not talk? It's just James
she
McAvoy
is the one
being creepy.
speaking no evil.
She's not speaking anything, not even evil. It's all James McAvoy.
I mean, yeah. So I think the main draw of this movie seems to be how crazy can James McAvoy get.
He goes full crazy. And we know that he can get pretty crazy, such as in movies like Split.
Yeah, where he had to play multiple personalities within the same character.
Yeah, I think he played like 23 or 21 different personalities in that one.
He is perfect for this deranged character.
He's getting quite typecast now. So good job, James. You did it. What's happening in this trailer, Tony?
All right. In the trailer, we have a couple of families who are on vacation in what appears to be Italy, because I saw an Italian flag in the back.
And a Vespa.
And a Vespa.
Yeah.
And they have this wonderful time, great vacation, laughing in the pool. And they brought their kids.
Yeah, this American family trio. They meet a more European family. James McAvoy is Scottish, and his wife in the movie, Aisling friend Shosi. I believe she's Irish. They also have a child. They have a little boy named Ant. Our American trio, they have a little girl named Agnes, and they have a whale of a time in Italy.
And at dinner, James McAvoy's character suggests to the other dad, like, you should come visit us. We live out in the country, like off the beaten path. And he's like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. They actually do. They follow through, and their family goes and visits the other family.
Yeah, and they live in a quite remote, idyllic area of the European countryside somewhere. We don't quite know where.
But it's very remote.
Very remote. Scoot McNairy, who plays Ben, says, oh, do they have any neighbors? Uh-oh. Don't visit people that you just met on vacation if they don't have any neighbors.
Yeah, they get there, and now they're on this other vacation. I'm guessing this is maybe a little bit down the line. I can't actually remember from the original movie if it's like a year later or something.
I don't think it's that much later. I think it's maybe like a few weeks or a few months.
Once they get there, they realize that not is all what it seems.
Yeah, they're no longer seeing the fun. James McAvoy plays Patty, and Aisling Franciosi plays Sierra. So Patty and Sierra are not what they seem.
Of course, throughout the trailer, we're getting all these sort of red flags. Force feeding greasy chicken to a vegetarian.
It's very greasy.
Forcing your son, who does not speak, to stomp to Cotton Eye Joe.
To partake in this very American dance routine. He probably doesn't know Cotton Eye Joe. He doesn't know the rhythm.
The big one was Mackenzie Davis's character, Louise, cuts herself. They're like, we need a doctor. And then James McAvoy's character is like, I'm not a doctor.
Even though he disclosed in Italy, he said that he was a doctor.
What? You're not a doctor? He's like, of course I'm a bloody doctor.
And Mackenzie Davis's expression is like, oh, haha, good joke.
She is great at looking like she is faking like she's having a good time, but there's like a hint of being uncomfortable the entire time.
She does look very uncomfortable.
In the trailer, there are some very heavy-handed, almost like spoilers in themselves. So if you've seen the original movie, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Maybe the filmmakers are assuming that a lot of people have seen the original.
Maybe they are assuming that people have seen the original and that he's gonna blow us away with this crazy remake that doesn't follow the original past the first 20 minutes.
Which leads me to my question is, why are they making this remake?
I think that was a lot of people's question when we saw that this was being remade, because we saw this in 2022 and Tony and I were quite polarized when we saw the original in 2022. I enjoyed it. Tony vehemently hated it.
I hated the original movie. I will say that it was a good movie, and it did have a lot of tension throughout.
So tense.
These really disturbing scenes, and
it was a slow build up too.
Yeah. But the thing that I hated about it was that there is just so much going wrong. I was like yelling at the screen at the characters.
It's one of those where you yell at the screen the whole movie. It is the most yell at the screen kind of a movie.
Yeah.
And if you're not into that, then you're going to be in Tony's camp and hate it.
If you're not into characters making really dumb decisions and not seeing all of the red flags.
But I mean, usually when you're yelling at the screen, you're yelling at like a bad 80s slasher. But my argument was that this was actually well made, and a lot of these decisions that were being made were with a purpose. They weren't just because the actor couldn't find the motivation to not fall or fall in the forest.
I still hated it.
He still hated it. And if we ever decide to review the original from 2022, then we'll go over those polarized views. But for this, I saw explosions. There was fire. I saw rippling muscles from James McAvoy skulking down a hallway with a gun in his hand.
Some barricading in a room.
And I'll just say, Those scenes did not happen in the original. That's not a
See,
spoiler.
I don't remember the specifics. We've seen the original once, so I don't remember the specific scenes, but I remember the big scenes and the performances.
Yeah.
Was this movie remade because it was sort of like a big success, the international one? I feel like it was a surprising movie for a lot of people because a lot of people did really like this movie.
I think a lot of people in the horror world liked it.
Yeah.
I remember in 2022, this was a standout movie for a lot of people. It was on a lot of people's lists.
Right.
But when we saw this trailer in the theater, every time we've seen this trailer, I can hear people behind us who I don't think have seen the 2022 version say like, oh, that looks good. And I'm thinking, okay, they haven't seen the original.
Yeah.
So I think this is made for the perhaps more American audience who we're just expecting Americans to not have seen this other one. The 2022 version follows two families. One family is Danish, one family is Dutch. So you have two different languages and lots of subtitles. And so I wonder if this one was made because somebody liked the original idea, but thought Americans need to see this without subtitles.
I have some problems with that. I am always going to hope for original stories over remakes, especially one that was just made. When I first saw the trailer to this movie, I was just like, what the hell? Like, why? Why are they remaking this?
Yeah.
I am interested in seeing what they possibly do different and the performance of James McAvoy, Mackenzie Davis. I think I have a little bit more of an open mind now.
Yeah.
Not so much vehemently angry that they remade this movie.
That they're remaking a movie that Tony did not like and that they're remaking it so soon after.
Yeah. Even if it was a movie that I loved, if it was like, wow, that was the best movie of the year and they remade it, I'd be like, why? What's the point?
Yeah.
I guess that there is like a precedent for remaking a non-US film quickly after it's been made. This one just seemed like very, very quick.
Very quick. Because if you think about the 2022 version coming out and this James Watkins person, which I don't know him from very much. James Watkins. Oh.
Did Eden Lake.
He did Eden Lake. Did you see that?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
Eden Lake with Michael Fassbender.
I don't think I saw that one.
Okay.
But I heard that was a good one.
Eden Lake is a
list.
good one if you want to see a movie where kids terrify you. So we have a list.
That's every movie.
We have lots of lists, and we do have a list going of movies with terrifying children, and Eden Lake is definitely in my top for that category. He did Eden Lake in 2008. That was a good one. I actually enjoyed that. So knowing that he did Eden Lake, I think that this might be okay. I might enjoy this one.
All right.
Really quick, I just kind of want to go over some of the actors in the movie. We have James McAvoy. We know him from Split. He plays Patty, the deranged husband. Aisling Franciosi plays Sierra, the deranged wife. And we know her from quite a few movies that have come out in recent years. The Nightingale, Stop Motion, Last Voyage to the Demeter. She's kind of having a little heyday. And then we have our passive couple. We have Mackenzie Davis playing Louise, who I first saw her in *Halt and Catch Fire*, the TV show. I think I watched like one episode. But interestingly enough, Scoot McNairy, who plays her husband, was also in *Halt and Catch Fire*. And then there are a couple kids that I don't recognize at all. Predictions, Tony. What do you think is going to happen in this based off of the trailer?
Right. Okay. So we're doing the predictions a little different here because we already know what happens in the original film. And we're going to try to not spoil that for you listening in case you haven't seen the original film. My main prediction is that this movie is going to be almost a carbon copy of the European version.
But with more explosions.
Maybe it's just going to be a little more of intense James McAvoy, like creepy smiles. Maybe they'll do something different with the ending. But I think it's going to have the same exact result.
I think so too. I think it's going to have a very similar result to the 2022 version, but they're going to amp up the bigger and better flair.
They got to do the America thing.
Yeah,
bigger, better.
Better's debatable, but they're definitely going to go bigger because as we saw, there are explosions. There's a whole like cat and mouse chase scene that seems to be going on inside the house where Mackenzie Davis is barricading her and her family into a room.
So do you think think it's going to turn into a Jack Torrance kind of The Shining moment,
Yes,
where he's
it's
chasing after them.
Chasing after them. He
bashes through a door.
But he's got a gun too. So he's going to start shooting and hacking and trying to get to that family, come hell or high water.
Yeah.
So, but I do think it's going to have a similar outcome to the 2022 version, but with a lot more bells and whistles attached.
I'm also kind of thinking about other original horror movies versus remakes. Wreck versus Quarantine. It was essentially a carbon copy, but they did something that was like slightly different at the end.
With this one, I do think there's going to be one salient difference for this one. And I think that's with Aisling Franciosi's character, Sierra, the deranged wife. In the original, each couple, they were definitely a couple. So if anything, it was a wonderful example of how harmonious relationships can be within themselves. I think with this one difference we're going to see is we're going to see some diverging opinions between Sierra and Patty, aka Aisling and James McAvoy, where it's going to seem like James McAvoy is the aggressor the whole time, and perhaps Aisling Franciosi's character is just along for the ride. In the second trailer, we did see Aisling Franciosi having more lines, and we also saw her in a bikini with a lot of bruises under her clothing. So she had bruising on her shoulder and bruising near her breast, and that was concealed by her clothing. We did not see that in the first trailer that we just watched. And so I think it's going to be, the implication is going to be that James McAvoy's unhinged Mackenzie Davis's character and Scoot McNairy are going to try to get her to flee with them.
Yeah, I could see that because it does seem like they're really promoting this. Look how much of a psycho
James McAvoy
is. He's on the poster, which we will talk about in a second.
Yeah.
It's not like the original poster where it's the family and they're sort of like in this nature background in a car.
Yeah, and this one, it is all James. It's his face.
So I think that's the thing about this remake. It's like, let's see how far James can go.
Yeah, but I think there's going to be a twist. So you're going to think that Mackenzie Davis's character and Scoot McNairy's character, they're going to try to save Aisling Franciosi, but it's going to turn out, nope, I actually don't want to be saved. I'm actually happy in my relationship with James McAvoy, and I perhaps inflicted these wounds myself. So they're thinking she's a victim, but she's just as deranged as James McAvoy. That's my big prediction without spoiling anything towards the original.
Yeah, it's tough with the predictions. We can't really say too much specifics or details.
And we kind of toyed with not even doing this trailer prediction because we didn't know how to do it without spoiling anything. But Tony just felt so riled up about the trailer that we
just because we've seen it so many times.
What do you think you're going to like about this?
I think that I am going to like James McAvoy's deranged character. I think that's going to be the main draw.
Yeah.
You know, I'm hoping to be surprised.
I think I'm going to enjoy having seen the 2022 version and just being able to compare. And I think that's fun. It's fun comparing originals to remakes.
Yeah.
Whether you are being critical or not, I'm going to enjoy that. I'm just going to enjoy seeing what's different and what is similar. Which one did it better? Perhaps maybe which one did not need to be made at all. Even in my cynicism, I'm going to enjoy that aspect.
Yeah. I found myself laughing in the trailer a lot at points where I probably shouldn't have been laughing.
No, definitely not. Yeah, and it's getting to the point where I have to actually shush Tony in the theater because the minute he sees James McAvoy, he's busting up laughing. And I'm like, you sound like Robert De Niro in the movie theater in Cape Fear, where he's just chuckling and yucking it up and disturbing all the people around him. He's not quite that bad, but
don't go to a movie with me.
Yeah, he's just like eating popcorn, laughing hysterically. Okay, I'm not going to like if they stray significantly from the 2022 ending.
So then what's the point of making the movie?
Because I think it's fun to see differences in performances, maybe some artistic choices, but I ultimately want to see the same story because I liked the story of the 2022 version. It stuck with me for a long time.
Yeah.
So if they don't give me that version If they don't give me that ending, I'm going to be upset.
Yeah.
I do like Scoot McNairy. I like Mackenzie Davis and James McAvoy. And Aisling Franciosi been doing some really great work. And so I think we're going to have some solid performances from all 4 main characters.
Right.
I just hope they keep the core of the 2022 version the same.
Yeah. I'm not feeling as confident, but
I'm not either.
I guess, yeah, for those reasons, I'd see it. I never said the first one was bad. I just didn't like it because I didn't like the choices that the characters in the film were making. But that's the point of the movie as well. So,
all right, let's look at the poster.
As we mentioned before, the poster is all about James McAvoy.
It's just James McAvoy, half his face kind of enshadowed, looking downcast and very sinister with his quiet place finger up to his mouth.
He kind of looks like Hugh Jackman to me a little bit.
Oh,
he kind of looks like Wolverine. This poster is telling me that it is going to be all about James McAvoy's
I think it
character
even says
and his performance.
James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Speak no evil.
Are there any other characters in the movie?
Apparently nobody else matters.
No one else is in it. No.
Yeah, not Mackenzie Davis or Aisling Franciosi or Scoot McNairy.
Yeah.
Oh, well. It's a one-man show. Do you want any merch from this poster?
Let's see. I will take a mask on a little popsicle stick of James McAvoy when he's kind of like crying, but also angry or mad.
When he's like looking evil, but smiling.
Yeah, actually, I'll take that one. Yeah.
I don't know. I actually feel like this poster is the weakest part of the movie.
This poster is not in the movie.
I know. I'm just saying, so far, it's the weakest thing of this movie is this poster. I don't like it.
You don't want James McAvoy's face?
It's not like with the movie Trap where it's just Josh Hartnett in red and the words trap on his face.
I think you just like Josh Hartnett's face more.
No, I think they both have nice faces, but I just feel like for Trap that made more sense. This doesn't make sense. He's not a one-man show in this movie. In Trap, he is a one-man show. This, he has 3 other co-stars that could easily be on this poster. If I'm comparing this poster to the original poster that's just this van in the middle of nowhere pulled way back, you really get this sense of isolation that people in this car have nowhere to go. I love that poster. This poster does nothing for me.
No, it should have the tagline here that says, "Of course I'm a bloody doctor."
Of course I'm a bloody doctor.
When are you planning on seeing this movie? Never. Opening weekend in theaters eventually. Wait for streaming or never.
I do want to see this for the reasons that I said earlier. So probably in theaters eventually.
For me, this was a see all I need to see.
Really? You're not even curious to see if they do the same stuff?
Well, I guess, yeah. So that was my initial reaction. I was just like so vehemently against this movie being made, but I think I've softened on that a bit.
Yeah.
And
I think the theaters tricked us because they've showed us this trailer so many times.
Yeah, they've hammered it into my brain.
Now it's like, we need to see this movie. They've gotten us.
I'm going to change my answer to in theaters eventually as well, only because we have the AMC A-list, as you know, we always talk about. But if I had to pay for this, I would definitely be waiting for streaming. And then if I never saw it, I would just be like, oh well. Whatever. I saw the original, so I kind of know how it goes.
Okay, yeah. If I did not have the AMC A list, I would wait for streaming for sure. This would not be on my list. Like, I gotta go see James McAvoy.
Not paying $20 for this movie.
Yeah.
No.
Now I would pay to see James McAvoy in Atomic Blonde, which was a great movie. More people should see that one. Okay. I think that brings us to the end of this episode. Any concluding thoughts?
If you see red flags, just trust your gut.
What if the reason why that line was so poignant in the trailer when Mackenzie Davis says, sometimes we can think things, but we can't say them? Maybe that's the director's message. Like, don't badmouth my movie. You can think it, but don't make a trailer review about it.
Oh, really? I thought it was supposed to be like, if you think that it's going to be bad, you should say something.
Oh, so James Watkins wants people to like vocally speak out against this movie?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we are doing that. So you're welcome, James.
If you like what you heard today, please subscribe, like, and or give us a rating. Thank you for watching and or listening. This has been another episode of Gutted.